The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway in historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted. We're 2 weeks away from Christmas, and you know what that means on Podzilla 1985's Pro Wrestling Unscripted. It's time to bob for elves.
What?
All the elves will be played by Hornswoggle.
Why?
So, for real, at Kurt Hawkins Creative Pro, the company, like his training school, they're having a show, and that's one of the things is you can take a picture in the ring with the belt. Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, and Swoggle dressed as an elf.
I saw that ad.
Yeah, and like that's in the ad is like Swoggle dressed as elf.
Well, not as elf, but as a elf.
Right. As a elf.
He's not
there was
Buddy.
a guy. I went to the gym tonight, and there was a guy, and they were doing like Santa stuff, I guess, for the kids. But the dude who was dressed as the elf was trying so hard to be Will Ferrell as the elf, and I have never been less motivated to exercise in my entire life.
Was it cringeworthy?
It was so bad. It was so but the dude was having fun, and the kids seemed to be digging it. But he was so loud, and just like it was rough. Like, so, you know, I get that I am not the target audience, so I'm just being a dick.
But you were just there.
But it still happened to me,
Right.
and I'm going to complain about it, because welcome to the internet.
Oh, my name is Shannon Young, host of the night. Down the table, that's Ace, a great 5-star man who's complaining about elves in the gym.
And Christmas.
Anchor. Bahum Dick. And then we got Allie Abear to my right.
Hello.
Soon to be college graduate, Allie Abear.
Woo.
She is accepting cards and gifts. You can drop them off here at Gaming Grounds at 709 Broadway or send them to 709 Broadway. She really needs shoes. If anybody wants to get her some shoes.
Why don't you have shoes?
I still haven't replaced my work shoes.
Oh, the ones that
The ones that broke that I that I
you took
turned
the
into a
picture
bit
of?
for you. Yeah, I'm still walking around in those, catching myself every like 20 steps.
and the Big D Dalton Anthony.
Yo.
So, guys, let's start off tonight by talking about whatever Asa put at the start of the list. I just clicked the wrong button. Give me a second. Save $4 on Dynasty Warriors.
Big Cass having a seizure at the House of Hardcore is the first news story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's start with that. Big Cass had a seizure at the House of Hardcore. Basically what Dalton said.
Why did you laugh?
I'm laughing at my own stupidity.
Oh, okay.
That's legal. So, what happened? Did they ever figure out why he had the seizure? It's not funny. Like, I laugh, but it's not funny.
No, he it wasn't during a match or anything. He was in the lobby before the show started and just went down.
But is he okay now, I'm assuming?
We haven't really gotten a definitive like final report. Tommy Dreamer later in the show kind of gave an update and said that he was doing okay. Clearly he wasn't going to wrestle.
Right.
But
so he didn't go to the hospital that night or
I
anything?
mean, I think he did. I'm not 100% versed on the story, but he suffered the seizure, and he seems to be like, there was an update that I saw earlier on Reddit that someone had posted that he's doing as well as can be expected. I don't think they know what caused it yet, but
It's extremely sad. I mean, I don't hate Big Cass. He's not my favorite.
well, there's a difference between being a fan of someone and actively like
Oh yeah,
hoping that
I don't even know why
seizure does terrible damage.
I don't even
to
know why I
him.
had to put that qualifier on it of, well, he's not my favorite, but I feel bad. No, I just feel bad about it because anybody, even my worst enemies, I don't wish it upon. Well, most of them. There's a couple. But hopefully Big Cass is okay, and we'll wish him the best.
Yeah, and if there's as we get updates going forward, I'm sure we'll see them and share them. But
Other injury news, we got Dakota Kai has a potential torn ACL,
yeah, and that sucks.
which is very unfortunate.
Like, especially with, like, I mean, it sucks anytime anyone gets an injury or gets hurt, but she's been kind of slowly becoming one of the main focuses of the NXT women's division. And so for her to go down like this, like right in the peak of it, seems like it's going to be her, Kairi Sane, and Io Shirai against the three horsewomen of NXT.
Dalton, I know you were going to say something.
No, it's one of those, but it could also be really good for her to let everything kind of shake out and then come back. She's going to be out for like 6-7 months. So it's just like, it could be good for her just to kind of like pop back in.
Well, it's
whenever
always,
she's healthy.
Yeah, it's always good when like people disappear off the radar for a little bit because they always get the big pop when they come back. You know?
And I very much disagree that it's always good. Like, all this momentum she's building just kind of fizzles out. Like, especially now, because like Dakota Kai is not a name name. Like, she's not Seth Rollins coming back from injury.
But here's the thing,
she's building. She's in the process of like.
This is the exact
building
same thing,
her brand.
It's the exact same thing I said about Marco Stunt, and everybody shouted me down. Well, Marco, he'll come back. It won't be a problem. I said the exact same thing.
The difference is Marco made way more of an impact than Dakota Kai has been.
Yeah, but Marco made an impact on a kind of a smaller scale, not in a WWE thing. So she's kind of already there and can build up from that. Whereas Marco,
well, I mean, we're talking wildly different things. Like Dakota Kai's, yes, she's already in NXT, but as more and more people are. Now that is a spot someone's going to fill. Just because she comes back doesn't mean it's guaranteed there for her. Marco is working at all of these different companies. So, like, clearly he's going to have a spot at CCW.
Right.
He's made such a great impression on so many people around that he may have lost some bookings and he may have to work again to get back to be as widespread, but like Joey Janela, Joey Ryan, like people like that have already like tweeted out that no, they have Marco's back, and so a lot of other companies have as well.
But you don't think it's the same policy that if Marco's gone for how long is Marco out for? 6 months, probably 7 months.
7 months, yeah.
That they're not going to fill his spot with maybe another.
I mean, they will, and it's entirely possible.
And I would hesitate. I know I have said in character that Marco's like the flavor of the week, and I don't mean that obviously in real life, but. Do you think that there could be another internet buzzworthy thing that could take a spot in the meantime?
Of course, that could happen every day. But the difference being that there is a true brotherhood and like there's a loyalty aspect to it. And I don't think people are going to just like, especially within independent wrestling. Mm-hmm. NXT, you have a set of writers and they're going to write for whoever they want to write for. And if Dakota Kai comes back and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she lost all this momentum, if the crowd isn't like super responsive to her coming back like in a big way, that could totally derail her.
Which I haven't seen much of Dakota
Whereas
Kai,
I think like she's really good. She's the king. She's the true Kingslayer.
But does she get?
She killed Seth Rollins like 12 times in League of Legends. It's amazing.
Jesus. But does she get the big responses? Legitimately asking.
I mean, she is in the building stages. Like she has gone from like she is a very, very well done underdog character because she's been a part of Shayna Baszler's story for months now. Like Baszler's the one, she's the one that did that really disgusting. Her arm was like this on the ring and Baszler stomped it and like sent it her elbow down. Like that was her. And so she has been kind of low key building this feud with Baszler for months and months and months.
And now she's involved with like a 6
Yeah, and now like with the other, and then she's the first one that came down to help Kairi Sane at the last takeover.
Right.
Whenever they still had the two other, Jessamine Duke, and I'm totally blanking on the other one's name.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah.
We hate to hear anyone get injured in wrestling, but hopefully I hope that everybody that gets hurt comes back A-okay and does better than they did before. I like Dakota Kai. She seems like she's cool.
Like, and I like she's the captain of Team Kick. I dig her. Like I do like her a lot. It's just that thing where it's when you have the people who run the company like you and have built a personal relationship with you, it's going to be easier for them to be like, "Oh, you're back, you're good. I'm going to use you." Versus you have this corporation that, you know, it's Triple H is in charge, and if he likes Dakota Kai, she will be back where she is. It's just a matter of, are the fans going to respond? Yeah, but because Marco has a style that it's very easy to respond to, right? And it's very easy. Like, and I'm not saying he's not working for a response,
but a lot of those NXT guys are like the fans in NXT are very. I hate to hesitate to say smart fans or smart or whatever. I hate those terms, but I feel like they would be more sympathetic to. I mean, you know what I mean? Like instead of her being on Smackdown,
they could be, but they can also be very, very fickle. Like, not to steal the Daniel Bryan line, but they can get bored with someone very quickly.
I don't think that would happen with Dakota Kai, though.
I mean, I would like to think it wouldn't, but it's possible.
Like, just knowing that crowd and knowing how they usually react when she comes back, it'll be like they will lose their minds for it.
And I hope you're right.
Yeah,
and I very much hope you're right.
Yeah, no, I would. I'm willing to put money on it just by the way the crowd acts, and like there hasn't been a long. There isn't like a history of people getting hurt in NXT as much. Like you had your people like Sami Zayn got hurt right before he was like right when he left NXT into WWE like main roster and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Tommy. That's been like the only one, but every time he comes back it seemed like a big deal.
Yeah.
And then
but there's also a big difference between, again, Hitami and Dakota Kai. I'm not saying that one's more important than the other, but Hitami definitely had a bigger aura than Dakota Kai.
No, yeah, and he does.
Yeah, because Hitami was obviously huge
because
in
the
Japan.
crowd likes Dakota Kai when they're seeing her every taping.
Right.
If you take her away though, and if she's just gone for 6 months, like granted, like NXT is really good about using people, like if they're in the recovery process, like they put Austin Aries on commentary, like she could still be in.
Yeah, but NXT
depending on, and again, this is all like we don't know if it's an actual tear. She may have just like sprained something. She may not be out long term. But it's, they could find something for her to do to keep her not a focus of the women's division, but still keep her present.
Envision.
Yeah.
Because NXT, to me, it's such a loaded roster of fan favorites, like indie darlings especially, Io Shirai,
and more
Kairi
and more people
Sane.
are getting signed every week, it seems like.
Yeah, so it would be very easy to get lost in the shuffle, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll pray for the best news, and maybe it's nothing terrible.
Yeah,
it's just
hopefully it's not an actual tear. Like hopefully she's just because I'm assuming, I don't know if it'll be a takeover match, but it feels like they were building towards a 6-woman tag there, because we already know it's going to be the 4-way for the women's title at the next takeover.
Yeah.
So it'll that's kind of what I thought they were going for. So they could find a replacement, but hopefully it isn't a tear and she'll be able to
just
compete in that. Yeah.
In other injury or supposed injury news, Finn Balor, he did miss the live events. In where were they at?
I don't remember.
It was another country, wasn't it? Or am I crazy?
Well, they were in South America last week.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Know if that's what it was.
But he left the live events, and there have been rumors that maybe he was hurt. But it turns out
on Raw they said that he wasn't there because of injury.
Yeah,
but it's not injury. There's an illness involved that's keeping him. But they're not expecting him to miss TLC, so that's why they were still as of Monday they were still advertising the Drew McIntyre match for TLC.
But he is going to miss the Mixed Match Challenge. Is this just for this week or is this permanently?
It said going forward.
Because he's being replaced by Apollo Crews.
It's also super late in the Mixed Match Challenge, by the way.
But it's also like, I think our Truth and Carmella are the only original team left standing.
Yeah.
Well, is it Miz and Asuka still in it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. But like Braun, Alexa, AJ,
Rude and Charlotte.
No, it was AJ and Charlotte, because then it turned into Hardy and Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'm thinking of last year's.
But that was last year's.
That was because it was the two champions that were together. Yeah, because Rude was with Charlotte the first one. Yeah, there have just been replacements on replacements on replacements.
Every week it sounds like someone else is getting replaced. It's insane. I like
cursed.
Apollo Crews.
It's cursed.
This year it is.
Did you see his thing where he threw
Sasha
at Jinder and the Singh
brothers? I saw a picture, but I didn't get to see the video of it or anything. I didn't even get to watch the top 10 from SmackDown or Raw this week. All I did was read results. So,
have you been? It might be both of them, but I think it's Dash Wilder on Twitter has reached like Batista, Daniel Bryan levels of I don't care, fire me. Maybe that's probably a stretch, but I don't know if we talked about it last week or not, but them saying we will wrestle the Young Bucks one day. Remember this tweet?
Yeah, I saw that.
There's no reason.
It's his pinned tweet.
There's no reason Apollo shouldn't be main eventing every week. It's just stuff like that. It's like I like it when you don't care.
Well, then on Raw, you had Seth Rollins specifically call out Revival in their treatment.
And then what did the Revival do on Raw?
Did they lose the Lucha House Party?
They weren't on Raw.
Oh, but they did tweet about it. They talked about how right Seth Rollins is.
I always thought that Tyler Black was a cool guy.
Speaking of Raw did they hit another all new low milestone in the ratings?
Yep, this is the lowest rated Raw of all time. The second and third hour segments are the lowest rated second and third hour segments since they've switched to the 3-hour format. And which, if we want to jump to the Raw recap, we can. But it's kind of mind-boggling because, like, we talked about it whenever you came in on Monday.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, Seth Rollins cuts this promo talking about how much Raw has sucked. And it's like, okay, that's a thing you can do to acknowledge, okay, hey, we've made some missteps. Starting tonight, it's getting better.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. You have this whole thing of Baron Corbin is ruining Raw, so let's put him in 6 segments and the main event.
Yeah.
What? Why, though?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like Baron Corbin. I think he's doing this well.
Yeah, I have enjoyed him a lot in this role.
I feel like us here at the table are the only 3 people in the world that thinks that way. Because if you look on the internet, There's so much hate for that man and how boring he is and bland.
Well, like I don't think he's boring. I think the segments that he
material's
has put as him is boring.
Yeah,
like,
it's not bad performances. It's the story's not great, and he's doing what he can with what he has. And I will even say, like, Baron Corbin is not the most charismatic, exciting person to watch. He's just not. But I do enjoy him. I like his character. I like just the smarmy smugness that he brings, just that kind of feeling of undeserved ego. He does that really well.
He does.
And he's not a bad wrestler, despite what a lot of the internet wants you to think. Like, I enjoyed that TLC match from what I saw of it.
Mm-hmm. But they definitely are pushing. I don't know. It's hard for me to criticize because I feel like they're pushing it too hard. Like, and not him, just the angle. Like,
that story, yeah.
Yeah, they're just pushing. They really are pushing Baron Corbin down our throats. Then they write a criticism of Baron Corbin on the same show where they push him down your throats, and it reminds me so much. I know this has been said before, and I saw it all over the internet, but this reminds me so much of WCW when they started to tank, and Scott Steiner's coming out talking about how terrible Nitro is, and it's like someone online said that this was Vince McMahon blaming himself for what's been happening in WWE lately, and he's doing it through the storyline. And I'm like, I don't agree with that.
No.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't think Vince is blaming himself at all. He's, in his mind, this isn't cathartic. Like, this isn't him going, oh, I messed up, I'm going to get better about it, I'm going to call it out in public. No, I think he thinks this is a good angle, and he thinks this is going to make money, but it's really not. Calling Raw boring when Raw is boring just makes people think Raw is boring.
And then not really doing anything
to fix it.
Which, to be fair, Raw doesn't have Roman. Raw is...
Boy, did you ever think people would be saying that? No, and I don't mean to cut you off, but like, we love Roman Reigns.
No, absolutely.
And so much of the internet's like, oh, I'm sick of Roman or whatever. And now that Roman's gone, I've seen so many people like, well, Roman's gone now, so, you know, what are they going to do? It's like, yeah.
It's because Roman kind of... He represented a clear path.
He was important.
A clear idea.
Yeah, he was very important.
No matter what was happening on Raw, he was there. He was important. He was a flagship part of the show. Now that's gone. They're out. They're missing Braun because of his elbow surgery.
Yep. Lesnar doesn't show up.
Lesnar's not there. You start to kind of slowly start to build a show around Finn, Lashley, and McIntyre, and then you're missing Finn that week, and it's. I think they are put in a very tough position.
Yeah.
But that said, yeah, like it's kind of they've written it to themselves. This is what happens when you put so much of a focus on two guys and part-timers. And now, we've lost them. We can't call in a part-timer right away. We don't have a whole lot to fall back on, because like this situation would have never happened in the Attitude Era. There were so many other people. Like, everybody on Raw felt important.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you would have taken away Austin and Rock, show would have suffered. Attitude Era would not have been what it was. But they still had so many people they could have built an entire company around.
But you could take Austin or Rock off of an episode or two in a row, and you would still, like, it would be different, but you would still be able to make a good show around it. Like, that happened in pay-per-view.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
That's my point.
Yeah,
like, you can take away Austin and Rock, and you're like, yes, the show is like, it'll suffer, it won't be as big, but you have guys like Triple H and Kurt Angle and Big Show and Kane and The Undertaker and Mankind, and like, you have all of these. Even the undercard was stacked.
Let me just point out I was agreeing with you. I was just elaborating.
But to be fair, like, what sucks now though is the roster that WWE has now is, I would say, arguably top to bottom more talented than it's ever been.
More athletic, yeah. And
definitely more athletic, but the way that these characters have been built or just not been built is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
You could this is feasible. You have all of these tools available, but the constant 50-50 stop-start storytelling that they've been going with for the last 10 years, this is the comeuppance.
Well, the great thing about the Attitude Era and compared to now is that, like, in the Attitude Era, if you had Austin and Austin fought the Godfather, or Austin teamed up with Edge or Christian, it was believable. Like, you could have Austin versus the Godfather, and you probably knew Godfather wasn't going to win, but they weren't on the same level, but they were close enough that you took Godfather seriously, and they were always viable.
It's because they gave you 2 months of you actually needing to care about Godfather.
Yeah.
Whereas that's just not a thing anymore. Like, they did the same thing with X-Pac, where he had a match with The Rock, and like, yeah, no, he wasn't going to win. But like,
it was believable.
It was, they at least made it an understandable match.
He didn't lose in 30 seconds like, they didn't
4 weeks in a row beforehand before they actually needed it to be a good match.
Well, not even that. Just like it's not where there's clearly a, for lack of a better term, class division. Here's the people you care about, and then here's the other people we have to fill the show.
That's like, compare that to now, where if you take like Seth Rollins and put him up against Apollo Crews or Titus O'Neil or one of those guys, short of WWE hot-shotting them for 1 month before the match, and they do that all the time of, Apollo Crews lost every match for the past year, but look, he suddenly, Jinder Mahal lost every week, and then suddenly he's the champion. They'll hot-shot it, but it's not organic, so it doesn't feel right.
Well, and on top of that, you also have moments like John Cena and Randy Orton versus the entire Raw roster.
Yeah.
And who won that match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even on Smackdown, it was Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali.
Oh, that match was stupid fun.
It was fun, but I would have really liked to see Mustafa Ali get a little more offense in. Like, it wasn't super close. Like, it wasn't a complete squash match, but I feel I get
what you're saying.
Well,
I completely get what you're saying.
But here's the difference of that is, if Daniel Bryan was a babyface, I would totally agree with you. But when you have like the biggest heel on your show, which he is,
right?
You can't have, and this
Who
is
saw that coming?
Yeah. And like, this is gonna sound more mean towards Mustafa Ali as it's gonna sound, but you can't have him do a whole lot because that is your champion. And like, yeah, I understand that he's facing AJ Styles, and they like obviously they have back and forth exchanges on offense and all that, but you can't do that with a random guy on 205 Live.
I mean, I get that, which is why I wouldn't necessarily have it be on the show before the pay-per-view.
TLC.
Like, that's like, because then you could have given Mustafa Ali a lot more, and it would have made sense just to be like, and because it doesn't bring Daniel Bryan down at all. That's more of a, wow, look how good this guy from 205 Live is.
Well, it depends on what they do with Mustafa Ali after that. If you have him go toe-to-toe with Daniel Bryan and it's competitive, and then Mustafa Ali is a huge thing in 205 Live, or even maybe on the SmackDown roster, completely justified. But if they just pull some crap, which I'm not going to say they would, but they could, where Mustafa Ali goes toe-to-toe with Daniel Bryan, he gives him a hard-fought match, then goes back to 205 Live and loses to Tony Nese next week. It's like, I feel like there's just no vision in WWE right now. It's so week to week, and like they're just trying to survive at this point.
Well, you gotta, like, they've had so many shuffles with like what they were supposed to do and what they weren't supposed to do, like with Roman and then Braun and all that, where it's like right now they are very much just in survival.
You know who they could really use right now?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have to pay for Brock Lesnar.
Oh, God, how shitty is that? Like, how shitty is that where Lesnar's sitting at home?
You think he's expecting a phone call sometimes? He's like, he doesn't watch Raw at all, because obviously he doesn't.
Right.
But like he's getting the week-to-week ratings, being like, well,
I don't think he's...
My mailbox should be ringing any time now.
I think that's already happened.
Hold on. His mailbox should be ringing?
That's where he keeps his phone.
Because I don't... That's how...
Like, Paul Heyman has flat out said, like...
Really?
His mailbox is a mile from his house. That's where he keeps his phone.
And this is your champion. You put the goddamn title on Grizzly Adams, and he doesn't even show up for work when you need him.
See, and...
Imagine if Michael Jordan was on he only has to play 20 games of the season. They're losing.
Well, at least they know they're winning those 20 games.
Right, yeah.
I also very much don't think that he knows the rating situation at Raw, other than, why are they calling me more than usual?
I'm so used to Vince only calling me 4 times a week next to 7.
I feel like Vince McMahon is the mayor of Halloween Town, and he's going up to Brock's mansion like, Brock!
Such a
I'm
good fool.
only an elected official.
God,
he's holding the ratings in his hands.
Oh, it's been a weird day for me, guys. That was funny. That was really funny to me.
So, again, we say this every week now. How do you fix Raw? I think it starts with the writing. Because if they can start making people seem more important, take wrestlers that should be important. The Authors of Pain, The Revival, guys that you could easily book around and make them feel important again.
Here's the thing with like WWE is that every person on that roster is there because you could easily book around them. Whenever you have that many people, that's why we have 50-50, because we don't want to like put our fate, like I don't like the word bury, but we don't want to bury Dolph Ziggler too much, so we have to let him win half the time.
See, and
but you get what I'm saying, like,
right.
Whenever you have so many talented people on a roster, but you don't have a clear storyline, and you're not willing to put somebody, like you're only willing to put one person at the very, very front of the line every 5 years.
Right.
It makes it to where if that person goes down, which let's be honest, wellness violation, 2 injuries, and now leukemia. Like Roman has missed a lot. This has been a very reoccurring subject, and I'm not happy that this is the last one is what's keeping him out. But like at a certain point, you have to be like, all right,
we can't put it on him.
We can't put it on him anymore. Like now, when he comes back, everything I said is completely worthuless.
Oh yeah, no,
if he comes back,
he will be. He's breaking Bruno Sammartino's record.
Yeah, but like you guys get what I'm saying though. Like you have so much talent, but you're not utilizing to its fullest ability. And now you have way too much talent to where you can't put one over the other because, like, you could build an entire WWE show around Bobby Roode.
Yeah,
you could.
But and I think the problem that we have now is, you say, how can you fix Raw? You fix Raw by going back 3 years. Is the answer. So much damage has already been done to so many of these people that I'm not saying that they're totally insalvageable, but it's going to take so much more work than if you had been laying groundwork, which was months and months and months ago. Where like
that was WCW's fault.
Look at any of the NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
Aside from Kevin Owens,
Asuka,
Seth Rollins.
At first.
You know what? I'm even going to lump. If it wasn't for the fact that she's now in this like triple threat championship, I would put Asuka with the rest, with people like Tyler Breeze, Ty Dillinger.
The Ascension.
When was the last time you saw No Way Jose? No Way Jose was not a main event world title contender, but that's a fun.
He was
You have cocky heel, glorious Bobby Roode. That's an easy month-long U.S. title feud.
Yeah. I was so worried that when he got onto the main roster, he would suffer the same fate as Adam Rose because of the similar party gimmicks. But I thought that No Way Jose was doing well. You know, I think the crowd...
was Adam Rose, by the way.
Yeah, but they kind of, to me, they shot him in the foot immediately when the first thing he did was come out sucking on his lollipop. And
well, that was his character, though.
I know, but in front of that Raw crowd and some of the people that is in that Raw crowd, it's the same guys that used to come into to GameStop and say they hated Rico because he was homosexual. Yeah.
Choose your next words.
Well, I mean, but
wisely.
that was that's the thing. Is like it worked in NXT, but then they also got rid of his good music.
Adam Rose,
yeah, which was a bummer. So that kind of somehow killed the entire magic of it.
Yeah, because then they just made a rip-off song of his original theme.
Yeah. So it's like I said, you're writing 5 hours of TV a week, every single week, all year long, and it's just
if I didn't know better, like it almost feels like WCW. Because you didn't lay groundwork, you had one guy in Goldberg that was successful, and everybody else was old, part timers or people that were popular before.
And again, let me go back to what I just said about WWE. You could build an entire show around Diamond Dallas Page,
Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit before. Obviously, they tried.
Yeah, we
Booker
said
T.
it. Yeah,
yeah. There were so many guys, but they didn't. They kept going to the well of Hogan, of Roddy Piper, people like that. And then it got so bad that WCW was calling out WCW for how bad it was. Now you have WWE calling out how bad WWE is, and it's like, my God, if we do not learn from the past, we're bound to make the same mistakes.
I mean, but the mistake, the consequence at the end of the WCW thing won't happen with WWE.
Yeah, because now they're more profitable than ever.
That's true. WWE will survive, but it could do better, obviously.
Well, yeah.
And here's the
how
thing.
much do you put on Vince McMahon? Because that's what everyone says. You got to get Vince McMahon out of charge of it.
The rumors are the last 2 weeks of Raws, like the most critically disliked, were all the entire show was written bottom to top by Vince McMahon at the last minute. So if that's the case, then you got to put a lot of it on Vince McMahon. And granted, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we don't know. We don't know. It's easy to say, why isn't Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor the number one people? If you listen to the Edge and Christian podcast, or people like Cody Rhodes will talk about it all the time, yeah, people like them, but what are they doing? Are they really giving a true effort at house shows? Are they stepping up to the plate and to do media tours and interviews and things like are they working with .com? Are they pitching ideas to the writers? Or are they happy just, I'm here. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do.
Right.
Because apparently that plays a huge factor. And if you have a full locker room of people who are just complacent, then you have to put some of that on them. But then you do have people like Drew McIntyre who very much seems like, nope, this is what he cares about.
Yeah.
Him on Up, Up, Down, Down, a show that they don't talk about wrestling. He talked about nothing but wrestling because he said his wife is his hobby. because of just his life is wrestling.
Well,
so anytime that it's not focused on wrestling, he spends with his wife.
His wife is a lucky lady.
I feel like
well, he looks like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like running this store, and especially this store before, when I would get frustrated because sales would be down, and I would be frustrated because people aren't putting in. I felt like I was taking the blame for the store not doing well, but there were a lot of people that worked here that weren't putting in effort. They just came in, they clocked in, they sat around, and they left. But then, you would tell them, hey, I need you to work harder and put in more effort. But it's like, what's the point when everything seems like it's, negative and there's so many bad things? I can see that happening in the WWE locker room. If those people aren't motivated, then they're not going to make the effort. But how do you motivate them?
I think the difference.
Oh my God, it's so difficult.
The difference there is like working here, and I know you're not talking about me, but no. when I was here, if you want me to really step up and go above and beyond, well, turns out I wasn't even being paid minimum wage.
Right.
If you're not willing to pay me the bare minimum in money, why would I give you anything other than the bare minimum of effort? Whereas everyone in the WWE locker room are holding a million people's dream job.
Yeah.
They are being paid very well. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it is a hard job. It is an incredibly difficult, the travel is grueling, all of that.
But replace your minimum wage pay with what some of those guys see as what they want to do in wrestling. Like a guy like the Revival. I said guy, but two guys. They are on the main. They're on the main roster. They're living out people's dreams. But surely what's happening to them is not what they wanted from wrestling. So instead of the money, why would I put forward a maximum effort when you're giving me less money than I deserve? They could easily go, well, why should I make such an effort when clearly if I make an effort, it's not going to matter. I'm going to be stuck in this position. No, I've seen what happened to guys like Zack Ryder. I've seen what happened to Dolph Ziggler.
The brass ring.
Yeah, the brass ring. You never get a hold of it. What's that?
Cody talked a lot about the brass ring.
He had a bag of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating, and I can't imagine the frustration of it.
It is a very complex, difficult situation that there is not as much as the internet likes to just do better, there's not an easy answer.
Good.
That said, I feel like a lot of this is going to kind of even out once Strowman comes back, once it's more clear of what Brock's going to do on a month-to-month basis.
Do you think get the title off Brock, get it on Braun, and then go from there? Or do you think Brock as champion could still be feasible?
I don't even know at this point. What I personally want to happen is get the title off of Brock as soon as possible. I wouldn't even, at this point, I wouldn't do Braun because I love Braun Strowman. I think he is one of the most entertaining parts of WWE as a whole for me. That said, the whole, I'm going to pin 6 guys in 30 seconds and then, I got beat up by Brock Lesnar super quick. I can't do it again. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I would be grooming Bobby Lashley for that. Drew McIntyre for that spot.
God, what was it when Lashley first came in? It was Lashley versus Lesnar was one of our dream matches.
Yeah.
It never happened.
How that seems so obvious.
Right.
It seemed so obvious. And then he gave Sami Zayn vertigo.
Jeez. I have no doubt WWE will continue to make money in spite of itself. It's the CM Punk argument.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of CM Punk, Colt Cabana's lawsuit against CM Punk was thrown out, and he is filing a new suit.
Yes.
Do we know why it was thrown out?
Yes, but I don't remember what
let's give a little bit of history. What was the suit about?
This was as Dr. Aman employed by WWE sued CM Punk and Colt Cabana for the podcast that CM Punk did after he walked out of WWE, by saying that suit was I don't remember. It's the legal definition for it is that it cost him professional harm, which the judges ruled that it did not, and that case was thrown out. However, that lawsuit was very, very expensive. The CM Punk was paying for both Colt Cabana and his own lawyers. At a certain point in that lawsuit, CM Punk very abruptly, seemingly, messaged Colt and said, "This is how much I have spent. You owe me half of that, and from this point forward, you are responsible for paying your own legal fees." At a certain point, when WWE initially reached out to Colt Cabana about taking down that podcast, Colt's argument is CM Punk told him, "I will cover you. I've got you. Don't worry about it." Which he interpreted as he will pay my legal fees if we do get sued, which very much that kind of letter is pretty much, hey, take it down or we're taking you to court. So this initial ruling is that I think the punitive amount was way too much because he wanted like $1 million on top of all the legal fees. I think the punitive amount was like that had a factor into it. Maybe I'm not a lawyer. I didn't read it all as carefully as I should have. But the other thing is that the message that Colt is saying is the message that Colt has that is his, like, no, look, this is what he said.
His smoking gun.
That means that he said he would pay for my lawyers. Apparently isn't a binding contract. And that's why it was dismissed, is because it's not, the language isn't clear enough for it, because he didn't explicitly say, I will pay for your lawyers. It was like, I got you. I have your back.
Mm-hmm. So do we know if is he amending his lawsuit, or is he just...
he's amending it. Okay. So now I don't know exactly how he's amending it, but it's not going to be like, I think he has until like the middle of January to either file something, or Punk has the middle of January to respond or something like that. But it's a bummer situation all around,
especially considering what good friends they were, and that this all happened. I may have asked this before, but I'm curious. I have bad memory, and I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but whose side do you take in this?
Neither. Like, the more it comes out, it's like, because like, not removing fandom aside, like entirely. This is in the CM Punk Colt Cabana versus Dr. Amann. CM Punk Colt Cabana 100% without that's obvious to me. Colt Cabana suing CM Punk, yes and no, like both a little. Like, I don't know what happened between them personally that led to, or professionally or whatever, that led to Punk cutting off Cabana, because clearly something had to have happened. And
neither of them have talked about it.
Right.
Which is crazy.
There was a story that apparently was completely fabricated, that Cabana had gone backstage at a WWE event while the suit was going, and that's what set off Punk, but apparently that never happened. Because thanks, internet. So I don't know, like, I see both sides of it, honestly. Like, if Punk said, I've got your back, that doesn't mean I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to like protect you. But also him doing that podcast and telling Cabana not to remove it kind of would put a little bit of responsibility on his shoulders. But that said, like, I don't think that legally means that Cabana has a right to that. I don't know.
What was the message that Cabana sent right before Punk said, I got your back? Because if Cabana mentioned something about, I can't afford a lawsuit against me, I can't afford all of this stuff, and Punk goes, I got your back, that very much hints at, I will cover you financially.
Yeah. As opposed to if he said something like, I'm worried about what's going to happen to me. Oh, I got your back.
Yeah.
Also, like, I know Punk told him not to take the thing down, but it was, to be fair, that was Colt Cabana's podcast. It was his guest. He hosted it. He put it up. He could have taken it down at any time, and he had to have known that the things CM Punk said on that show, he probably didn't know he was going to get sued over it, but he had to know they were inflammatory, and that could have gotten him in trouble. So I also think that Cabana has to shoulder the responsibility of, you did what you did on your own free will. No one held a gun to your head. CM Punk didn't threaten you if you took it down. So you kind of have it coming on to yourself. I know that sounds mean, but like, let's say we did a podcast where somebody just lied through their teeth about something, and I put that up and hosted it, and I didn't take it down. I would be responsible for what he said and what we put up.
Yeah.
You know, there was an incident, and I won't name names or anything, some people know, where we had a couple guests who came on and said some things that would have gotten some people in serious trouble. I chose not to post that show. I got some heat for it, you know, but that would have been on me. That would have been on us as Podzilla, you know. So we didn't post that show, and we had good reason. So I think Cabana has to take some of that responsibility.
That's why it's like kind of 50-50. Like, it's kind of hard.
It's a shitty situation.
Yeah. Because again, like Asa said, like, them two versus Amann, yes, them all day, but like them two like against each other, it's like,
what a sad ending to the friendship and lawsuit story.
Yeah, you can't watch the CM Punk documentary on WWE anymore. It's still there, but like them two talking about how good of friends they are, just to know what happens like 8 years later.
I'm sure they could probably reconcile at some point.
Maybe. I don't know.
You know, I don't know. Last thing before we jump into our Raw SmackDown recap, and then we're going to preview TLC, and I believe, AC, you said Ring of Honor?
Yes.
And that is that Rhino says he is actually not retired.
Yeah, he posted a video on WWE.com saying that he's finishing out his contracted dates with WWE. He lost that match. He's been fired from Raw. He's filling out these rest of these shows in December and January. But then after that, he doesn't know what he's doing. Either he may still continue to compete for WWE, he may compete somewhere else, but he is not retiring, even though there were a bunch of live reports from that episode where he gave a retirement speech. Now, granted, I didn't read like the transcripts of those, but everywhere posting it very much made it seem like that was a retirement speech.
Yeah. To be fair, they did that with Undertaker, the past 3 years too. Is like, well, this is his retirement moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he
and Bully Ray, and Matt Hardy, and Bully Ray.
Yeah. One thing before we go into the recap stuff, the Kurt Hawkins Zack Ryder thing.
Yeah. You want to mention this is great.
Their podcast, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, they started a couple weeks ago doing a toy drive through Ringside Collectibles, which is if you put in the address of Creator Pro, which is Kurt Hawkins' school, you didn't have to pay shipping. Well, on their podcast, they were able to collect 2,600 toys. For Toys for Tots.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, they deserve a gigantic pat on the back because that's awesome.
I mean, to be fair, Zack Ryder deserves so many pats on the back for everything he's done.
That's a personal. You're talking about a personal, and professional. This is Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were being great human beings.
Yeah, instead of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah.
Type thing. Do you have a T-shirt from them yet?
Not yet. Their shirts are pretty cool.
There.
Have I shown you?
I've seen a couple, but you haven't shown me any.
They have those two. They have each other, or they're both in a bathtub with action figures. It's a figure bath. They have a lot of really cool shirts. If anybody wants to buy me one of their shirts and send it to me, get a hold of Shannon, get the store's address,
709 Broadway,
and send it to me. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Raw and
real quick. So going through this giant thread of the Cabana Punk lawsuit, it looks like in his original lawsuit, he's claiming that what CM Punk did was he did with the intention of defrauding Cabana, and he did it maliciously. So he knew this was a planned, he actively was trying to screw him over. The judges ruled that there was not enough evidence to substantiate that extreme of a claim, so now he is refiling it under less he also apparently in those messages, Punk said that his attorney would handle it and Cabana would be 100% covered.
Oh, well.
Is what he said.
100% covered sounds very...
It's
fishy.
That's not... I don't think that's enough to say, legal fees. Anyway, but now he's refiling it seemingly under less, now he's saying that what Punk said... With what Punk said, he had to have known that WWE would come after them legally. So he kind of set this whole thing in motion, and he should have known this was coming. So that is apparently part of it, is that the initial case was because he said he tried to do it to defraud Cabana, where the judges ruled that there's no evidence of that.
And I would agree with that. I don't feel like he was trying to defraud Cabana. I feel like it was CM Punk wanted to vent. And God, if you've ever followed CM Punk, if you know the man and you've seen him talk, he gets very heated. He gets very passionate, and sometimes things are said that probably shouldn't be said in an open space, especially when you can record it and then play it back later. So yeah, I don't think he was trying to defraud him. I think he was just being CM Punk.
Right.
But anyway, Monday Night Raw. Let's start off on Monday, and the show kicked off. I actually have the list here. I thought we'd go just piece by piece because we have plenty of time to fill because it's a slow week.
Well, we already covered Raw,
but we still got TLC and Final Battle.
There was a Stride event this past weekend,
and we'll talk about that too. Yeah. Seth Rollins comes out. He shit talks Corbin. Corbin comes out. We already talked about that. That was the big thing. It's AOP. I thought it was a name.
No, just AOP.
AOP versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. And we have new tag team champions.
You're missing part of that. It's AOP and Drake Maverick.
Oh, my bad.
Versus Robert Roode and Chad Gable. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable in a 3-on-2 handicap match. Maverick tagged himself in, was all cocky. Roode rolled him up 1, 2, 3. So now, fun fact, thank you Reddit, Chad Gable is now the second Triple Crown Tag Team Champion.
Behind
Jason Jordan.
So did AOP absolutely obliterate Drake Maverick after it?
No. they didn't do anything.
Exactly.
And this was the segment immediately following Rollins' like feel good man of the people speech. So give some crowd favorites a win. And
yeah, because that was the thing. Because we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, no. So we name dropped the Revival, and then like 30 minutes later, I was like, oh, we have new tag champs, and you're like the Revival, and I was like, Rude and Gable.
Yep. Which I mean, hopefully this can then lead into which. Boy, wait, why even put the belts on AOP then? I don't.
Wait a minute, who took the belts off or who did the AOP beat?
Rollins and Ambrose.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
Do you remember
you could have done it just on the Revival. If you're gonna just have them lose it so quickly.
Well, yeah, but it was that whole thing of like they didn't know what they were doing at that point. Like
that's
they
fair.
were just like, they're new. Let the big ones win. Damn it!
Remember the Authors of Pain in NXT? And
how? Oh God, yeah, they were killing
with
people.
Paul Ellering, yeah.
Them DIY.
Boy, baby, you come a long way. Natalia, came out next. I'm an internet guy, and cut a promo about her dad. And it's getting.
No, it's dumb.
Okay, thank you. I was looking for the right word to say because I was going to say creepy or it's getting old, but it is dumb. Like Jesus Christ, my dad died too. And I don't go out. No, I can't criticize it because her dad really did die. This isn't a stupid storyline where it's Big Show's dad passed away and Boss Man's riding his casket.
No, it's very
much better.
Big Show was riding his dad's casket. Boss Man was pulling it on the hearse. Right. God damn it! If you're gonna say it, get it right.
It was a much better.
I will say this is absolutely a stupid storyline. Like, yes, you are absolutely allowed to
grieve,
to grieve, and like I don't. It just feels gross. Like this feels like it's that whole like you're taking a real life instance and you're making like for her to start just break down and have that breakdown after they broke her glasses, and then like what is that like? Are we supposed to think the Riot Squad's irredeemable because they are making fun of a woman who misses her father?
And if you go to work and at your workplace, the people that you work with, the mention of your father puts you into a breakdown where you cry constantly, you shouldn't be at work.
No.
Take some time for bereavement. If Natalia can't get through a segment without crying, she needs to be at home, not on TV every week getting bullied by these people.
Right.
What a horrible message this sends. And on top of that, it's just bad. Natalia's not a great actress, first off, so she can't even pull off the sadness of losing her father. Even though I'm sure she is sad. Like, I'm sure she's torn apart about it. But it's different when they tell you, okay, now go in front of the camera and she's going to say this and pretend you're upset about it.
Right.
Like, fuck. I am upset about it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. Yes. So that was bad. And then Ruby Riott comes out. They do their thing. Whatever, man. It's just.
What did she come out with, Shannon?
Table. It was a table.
Yeah, what kind of table?
An anvil table.
Was it airbrushed?
I'm pretty sure it was a fat head.
It had a photo of the. God damn it! It's just a table with a fat head anvil on it. Oh, that's bad.
Wait, do you know what I'm referencing?
You talking about the stickers that? They put on
okay. I was like, I didn't want you to think that it was like a Funko Pop Nineheart.
No, I'm just saying they literally just
put
ordered
a fat
one.
head. Yeah, they were just like, oh shit, we have to get this custom made.
We have no. Don't worry, I got a guy. He has old merchandise, and it's God damn, it's just greasy. It's greasy and it's nasty.
It's greasy. Jesus.
We got Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler, and it's what it
was a good match.
It was. It's probably what should have happened last week, and just forget about last week because I have no doubt that Dolph Ziggler is now going to the bottom of the barrel while Drew McIntyre will go slightly higher and then get pushed to the bottom of the barrel.
See, and I think that barring any sort of like injury or wellness policy violation, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that. I'm just saying because stuff happens.
They suspended Drew McIntyre for violating the wellness policy. Well, did he take drugs? No, he's just that good.
he's too well.
He's making everyone else feel less well.
He has to go home and eat a cookie he has to eat 30 cookies.
You better put some sugar on that damn celery stock.
But I do think that we are seeing
celery stock.
I can't.
I think we're seeing these are the beginning stages of McIntyre being like the franchise in 2019, 2020.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Good Lord, about time. Alicia Fox versus Bayley. I actually like Alicia Fox quite a bit. I know she gets so much crap. She's not great, but she's been there so long, too. I think we should learn some new things. But I do like her. Bayley wins. Sasha was there, and that's when they threw Sasha.
And they're all just kind of like... and it's still just like offhand comments by Renee about a women's tag division. like in women's tag team titles. We don't have tag team titles yet for the women's division, but we're still just having... So these tag matches are kind of meaningless. There's no real feud here other than these are Alexa Bliss's friends, and they don't like Alexa Bliss.
Why was Jinder Mahal even out there?
Because he's...
Mixed match.
He's the partner. He's Alicia's partner in the Mixed Match Challenge.
That's a good team.
And during the Mixed Match Challenge, that is your story. That's why Finn Balor wrestled Jinder Mahal like 6 weeks in a row.
Yep.
I think we should mention Elias versus Leo Rush because this was the start of the Heath Slater as ref thing, and
I don't hate it. I
need to see more of it.
I would have rather it been him being the face that stands up to the heels and like doesn't let them get away with it. Instead
of being like, I have to let them get away with it because my job's on the line.
Exactly, which is fine. Like it's been done before, but everything in wrestling's been done before. So, and I like Heath Slater as a performer.
Yeah,
I don't think he's sets the world on fire as a wrestler, but as a performer, he's fantastic. So I'm interested to see where this goes. Also, that match was a lot of fun. Leo Rush is inhuman.
He's
so fast.
It's ridiculous. Dalton, get in that shape.
Also, I love Elias. Did you see the sign?
I can't.
Did you see the sign that the fan gave to him when they were in Chile?
No.
I'm using my one.
Oh, here we go.
He's in the ring. He's got this big, just dumb grin. And it says, Elias, thank you for coming to this fucking country.
I was going to ask if it was that one woman, but it wasn't nearly sexual enough.
No, not at all.
To be that person. Nia Jax comes out with Alexa after that, cuts a promo. It's the
what
same.
Are they doing with Nia? I'm not scared of Ronda. I'm going to beat her up so bad. That title's mine. And then she screams mine a lot. And then Ronda comes out and she runs away. And Ronda just roughs her up. So it's like, why would I...
I think Nia Jax has always been a combination of they don't know what to do with her, and she is not good enough to pull it off on her own.
And I don't even think it's necessarily her fault of... Elias, thank you for coming to this.
Found
Damn
it.
He
literally found it at the same time.
It's so good. Look at that smile. Build a show around Elias.
And you can.
Do it, you cowards.
That's the only guy that went from getting the biggest heel reaction to the biggest face reaction like in a day.
Span of 2 weeks.
But he can't go back to Seattle because they're going to be like, you talked about the Supersonics, you motherfucker. I used mine.
Allie, use yours.
No, I'm good.
What a dick.
Tamina wrestled Ember Moon. Ember Moon won, thank God. Allie just did the gimme money sign at Dalton.
I don't have $420.
What have we done to her is the question. She used to be the best amongst us.
She still is.
Not until that money comes through and then she says it.
Oh, then she's, She
poured out her morals.
Yeah, we're all beta cucks then.
Do you think she's scared? Are you afraid that once like the seal is broken, you won't be able to stop?
We have unleashed Hell's
Once
Gate.
the cat's out of the bag, you can't put the damn cat back in the bag. Is that what you're saying?
Because now it's messing with everything.
We just want that damn cat back in the bag. Love Cicely Strong. Tamina and Ember Moon. Ember Moon won. Everyone hates Tamina for some reason. I don't hate her. And then Baron Corbin lost to Seth Rollins in the main event for a ladder match for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, it was a TLC match. For which you're putting Baron. You're saying Baron Corbin is the worst part of the show on your show, and yet he's still in your main event. And then when you do record low third hour.
You wonder why.
Also, you're giving away a TLC match on Raw 6 days before your TLC pay-per-view where there is one TLC match. And you have how many feuds that are not even any sort of gimmick that could actually benefit from one. I think it was Bubba Ray on his podcast said how are you not doing a triple threat tag team ladder match or TLC match with the Usos, the Bar, and the New Day?
Oh, God.
You want someone who can top what we and the Hardys and Edge and Christian did? It's those 3 teams.
Although they probably wouldn't let them do nearly the stupid shit I think
Cesaro would swing the ladder and just kill everybody.
God, do you remember a couple of years ago?
Oh my God, just taking out knees.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
I've come up with some really dumb things in the last couple of months.
I forget which WrestleMania it was, but the one where Luke Harper goes through that ladder at ringside.
Oh, God.
Oh, Allie just woke up.
Anytime somebody goes through a ladder.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So Raw was terrible or bad. It wasn't great is the general consensus. I didn't watch it. I can't say for myself.
It's the same thing that I've been saying for the last 4 weeks is I wish it would let me like it more. Because there's a lot of really cool things in play.
Right.
But it's just
SmackDown was a 2-hour show that had 30 minutes of wrestling.
I mean, welcome to WWE.
Yeah.
That's just baffling to me that we still, well, whatever. Meanwhile, you can catch CCW Chaos on YouTube every week, and a 30-minute show, there's about 25 minutes of wrestling. Who would have thunk it?
Well, because we don't have advertisers.
Yeah.
And we can't really film segments in certain places.
We don't have to do week-to-week recaps. No, SmackDown I thought was good. I need Daniel Bryan to come out with a new graphic and music. If he's going to be the new Daniel Bryan and he took the yes plates off, I need him to
still
have
come out to
the
Flight of the Valkyries.
Yeah. I need him to.
Which you could still use that, but don't use the rock. No, don't use the rock version of it.
Do that thing where you take the song, but you change the
key.
I'm not smart on this. So
help me out. Give me what you're looking for.
It just changes the tone of the song.
The key.
Yeah, and then
you want to change it from major to minor, or change it to a different mode.
Yeah, and make it sound shitty. So when it starts, it's like instead of the
minor key just makes everything sound creepy.
But with Flight of the Valkyries, it would have to be a mode.
Yeah. Change it to Depeche Mode. That's what I've been saying.
But yeah, I need
piece of shit.
But his promo
Have
again.
Come out to Nickelback.
His promo was amazing. Like he's like just found himself in this role so well, just as the better than you environmental, like hyper environmentalist.
Yeah, his heel gimmick is like, I'm trying to save the earth. Boo!
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, hey, Mustafa Ali drives an SUV, so he got what was coming to him. I think we can all agree.
I like Daniel Bryan as a bad guy more than a good guy.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. Because I always liked Daniel Bryan, but he was a great wrestler, but gimmick-wise, all he had to do was go yes, 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 and everybody went nuts. I think he works harder as a bad guy and is so good at it that it builds...
Now he just yells fickle, fickle, fickle.
Is that what he comes out to?
Yeah.
Does he actually go fickle, fickle? He just does double birds. Fickle, fickle, fickle. Daniel Bryan beat Mustafa Ali in a pretty good match that I hope helps Mustafa Ali, because obviously Daniel Bryan's already top tier,
right? And
I'm hoping this raises Mustafa Ali's money. Then we had the Bar and the Usos rap battle.
Better than it should have been.
Well, because they rapped Vanilla Ice. What was it? Ice Ice Shamey?
Yeah.
Jesus.
They're
Alley. Vanilla Ice.
And
was a white rapple. White rapple.
A white rapple.
Do you know what his real name is?
What's a rapple fact?
Rapple fact number 69. Vanilla Ice's real name is Robert Van Winkle.
Guys, he doesn't even know. This is a goddamn sex rapple fact.
Them coming out in the the windbreaker outfits and like the big hat, like it's dumb. I get that.
Remember when we talked about it before the show and we said there's two ways they can do it? They could either have Sheamus and Cesaro come out serious and kick ass and all that, or they're gonna have them do something stupid and try to rap. Turns out they kind of went to both.
A little bit. Well, I mean, they lost, I guess, and then they beat down the Usos afterwards.
When there's a rap battle on wrestling, nobody wins.
Excuse me.
So it was John Cena.
John Cena was awesome.
With Bling Bling Buchanan.
Jesus, I forgot about Bling Bling Buchanan.
I think we all did, and we were better for it.
Well, not anymore.
Miz and Shane continued their thing. They beat Johnny Boots and Tights. Well, actually, Shane did.
Shane with the worst triangle
Shane did all
choke
the work
in the world. Oh, Shane is bad. Like, I mean, in that match,
God
he
bless
was
his
so
heart.
bad.
God bless his heart and work ethic, because he's got it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But like the punches and then that he's trying, and that's great. He's doing more than he needs to, so I'll give him credit for that. But it was rough to watch.
Here's the part I don't get.
I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, because
but it's still funny to me, kind of.
So I'm
just because Miz makes it.
I'm reading this off of the report because I didn't see it. So did you watch SmackDown?
Parts of it, yeah.
Can someone explain it? It says Paige yells at the ref for the last match, but the ref says Paige okayed it. The wrestlers give Paige invoices for Paige to pay them $5,000 each. She rips them up. What does that mean? She yells at the ref for the last match, but the ref says Paige okayed it. Are they hinting at a Paige heel turn?
No, not at all. This is pretty much just like she
this?
Didn't know what was going on.
But the ref says he says
the referee says that I think it was the referee said that he was told she okayed it.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And then the wrestlers are like, "Hey, so you owe us $5,000," and she's like, no. Why would I give you $5,000?
Where the hell are they going with this?
What it should have been. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that's just it was
a one-off.
I think it was like I expected her to be like, well, then take that money from the Miz. He's the one that hired you.
Right.
Like, because this all very much just seems like it's all being set up by The Miz because he wants Shane to be his partner. I don't know why. I don't know where it's going. But
Shane's the best wrestler in the world.
The Miz, two-thirds of the best wrestler in the world. I don't know where it's going, but Miz is. I enjoy the hell out of The Miz.
Well, yeah,
I just do.
Yeah,
Miz and I have for a long time.
I love Johnny Cage.
Him looking like he's heartbroken every time Shane rejects him is wonderful. He didn't even bother to take off his entrance gear during the tag match while he's on the apron. Just
if Miz doesn't obliterate Shane McMahon and this is all a joke, I'm gonna be a little sad.
I think it's going the other way.
That he really tag titles.
No, I think Shane is going to obliterate the Miz, and that's going to be your turn
for Shane.
Yeah,
to go heel. Mm-hmm. Miz good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Miz has been wrestling Daniel Bryan in the dark matches as a face, and it's working.
I feel like he's
super likable.
He's versatile.
He is someone who, like, as soon as you shine a spotlight on what a fan and how much he loves wrestling, people will be able to identify that.
Plus his wife.
Go back and look at his run with the U.S. Championship into when he cashed in winning Money in the Bank and then cashing it in. People were solidly behind him
when he's with A-Rai.
Yeah, because this was his dream. Like, this was his whole. Like, he loves this so much, and when you have someone who loves it as much as the people watching it, that comes across really well, and it's so easy for them to identify in that.
And then he had the single best promo of the last 10 years on
the video package?
Talking Smack.
Oh, yeah.
Which is I still get goosebumps when I rewatch it. We had Rusev and Jeff Hardy beat Nakamura and Samoa Joe.
Yep.
I had somebody tell me that was a really interesting match.
I didn't get to see it. I'm happy Rusev won.
The ending was pretty. Nakamura going for the King Sasha, and Rusev just Machka kicks him. And he actually got to pin Nakamura, who, here's your weekly reminder, is the United States champion.
Oh, in case you forgot.
Yeah.
Good for him. Lars Sullivan is coming to town.
Remind me of my conspiracy theory, because I have a Lars conspiracy theory.
And then we had Asuka versus Charlotte, which Asuka won by DQ, and that's going to be a great match.
And then she
TLC.
proceeded to obliterate Charlotte and Becky with a kendo stick, and she was the one standing tall.
Which means Charlotte wins at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was about to say, because if there's anything we learn from the law of reverse momentum.
Yep. I see, and I still wholeheartedly think Asuka wins that, and then your story going forward is Charlotte and Becky both want Ronda.
Triple threat.
Well, either triple threat or that's your Royal Rumble story.
Yeah.
One of them wins, and then that's how they get to Raw to face Ronda.
Yeah, which I assume was going to be Becky since she got hurt
by Nia's fat fist.
Jesus Internet.
Christ.
Yeah, Nia referred to it as that on Raw. I think she said my fat fist smashed Becky's face.
I thought it was smashed her little face. I believe is what it was. I don't think anything to do with her fat.
Well, compared to that giant ham, everything's little.
God,
Internet.
No, you don't get to say that and then just say internet after.
As a man of size.
As a man of size. Can you please throw that in your CCW promos, any of them?
I think Marco calls me big enough. I don't need any help with anyone else.
I don't care if he's your boyfriend. I'm going to have him like him in after I'm done with him.
Oh, I'm going to fuck little Tiny Tim up in January. Anyway.
I need Marco to do a Tiny Tim shirt now.
Oh, don't worry. God, don't give him ideas. He'll make a shirt of anything.
I know he will.
And people should buy it.
Yeah.
And support him. It's a treasure.
And then, so that's SmackDown, and we got TLC coming up on Sunday. But before that.
Before TLC, Friday is Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Yes. Yeah, tell me the matches on this, because...
that's the New Japan card. Why do I have that? Oh, because that got finalized, but we'll talk about that, because that's not until the 4th.
I can watch that on free.
Why?
I say free. I pay for it.
I don't remember where I put the card. There we go. I found it. Okay.
Free.
Ring of Honor Final Battle. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. They announced it is going to be Kenny King versus Eli Isom.
Isom? Oh, yeah. He's awesome.
That's going to be the pre-show match.
That's going to be awesome.
Marty Scurll versus Christopher Daniels for Scurll's shot at the ROH Championship. Potential match of the weekend.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of these matches are going to be just stupid good.
I don't know a lot of them.
It's starting early, 7 o'clock Central, so it's a 4-hour show.
Oh.
This time. Bully Ray versus Flip Gordon in an I Quit match.
That's been a long build.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Gresham versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Huh.
Again, that's going to be ignorant. Matt Taven versus Dalton Castle for Taven's real world title.
I've been a fan of that. That's been worth watching Ring of Honor TV.
Sumi Sakai versus Madison Rayne versus Karen Q versus Kelly Klein in a 4-corner survival match for the Women of Honor Championship.
What is a survival match?
I am not sure.
Probably just a...
It might just be a
elimination.
Fatal 4-way. Yeah, elimination. Or it might be you have to touch all 4 corners or something. I don't know. Tune in and find out. Jeff Cobb versus Adam Page for the ROH TV title.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I just Santa Claused in my pants.
Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky versus the Young Bucks versus the Briscoes in a ladder war for the ROH tag titles.
Well,
that's again.
That's a middle finger to TLC.
That's a middle finger to all 6 of those guys' spines.
Their future career.
And then the main event for the ROH Championship: Jay Lethal versus Cody.
Ooh,
which could also be really, really good.
Yeah.
Do you think at this point, this is just pet peeving, do you think at this point, if WWE really doesn't care if he uses the name Rhodes, do you think he's already established himself to the point that he can use Cody Rhodes now? Because, and it's just me, this is just me going, oh, I don't know, just Cody. Like, I know he's recognizable, and there's, like, he's absolutely, you say Cody, you know who you're talking about. But just the one name bothers me. It's like, it just bothers me.
For every one of you, there are 5 people who he can't do anything if he wasn't using his dad's name.
Yeah.
I feel at this point, the dude has done so much.
You are absolutely right.
Know?
But
for every one of that, there are 5 guys that would say.
And who still say. The only reason he was ever in WWE is because of his dad's name. He wouldn't be on the independent scene if he wasn't in WWE.
Yeah.
They are so willing to just backtrack because they don't like this one guy that.
Elijah.
That's sad. That's so petty.
Yeah. And then the TLC. Oh, I lost that too.
I got it. So we got TLC coming up on Sunday. And this is, and I don't think this is in a particular order, but I'll just Wikipedia it. I'm assuming this is pre-show. Fabulous Truth versus Mahalisha. Sorry. Ooh, boy, did I mispronounce that one. Fabulous Truth versus Mahalisha.
I know who it is. I know. Yeah.
That's the finals too.
Oh, I'm happy that's the number 30.
Wait, those are the 2 teams?
Those are the 2 teams left.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Mela and Truth.
It has to be.
Because Mela is money.
She really is.
Man, honestly, I don't know because I could easily see them giving... Because remember, winner of these matches, they each get number 30. I could see Jinder getting number 30. Easily.
Oh, way over R-Truth, unless R-Truth's just the joke.
Except it's a thing where R-Truth doesn't come out. His music plays, he forgets to come out, and someone else comes out instead. One of those 2 things happens.
I don't know what happened to R-Truth, but
he
also
comes
needs
out
to be home.
Or he comes out at number 1 because he doesn't get it.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Otherwise on this, we got a Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in a chairs match. That should be really good. Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. That should be really good.
In a non-stipulation match.
We got Natalya versus Ruby Riott in a fat head on a tables match. Jesus.
Whoever gets the sticker down without the least amount of bubbles wins.
You have to take the sticker off.
But it's the fastest.
You have to
that's
take the
gonna
sticker
suck.
off the table and put it on the coffin outside.
Jesus Christ.
Son of a bitch.
We have the Bar versus the New Day versus the Usos in a triple tag team match for the titles with, like you said earlier,
no stipulation.
We got Elias versus Bobby Lashley in a ladder match with a guitar suspended above the ring.
That's a reach. Like, this is the match.
It should have been a ladder pole match.
If you're going to put a ladder match, then give that to the tag titles so you have something meaningful hanging, as opposed to just
a guitar.
Well, no, it's a guitar, Asa. They're very expensive.
I said something meaningful.
I think Bobby Lashley is going to throw Leo Rush upwards. Like, he's literally going to launch him up to grab the guitar, then catch him, give it to Lashley, and kabong.
He's going to do the Mark Henry Kofi spot where he just holds the ladder unfolded as Leo climbs up it.
I forgot about that. That's insane. Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre in a non-stipulation match.
Which is fine.
Not that they need it.
Yeah, that match is going to be good.
It'll be good. I hope it's not an obliteration like I kind of think it's going to be.
This is what I think is going to be the match of the night, and I think maybe match of the weekend, although, man, that Ring of Honor card's nuts. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the women's title, for the SmackDown women's title, in a TLC match.
Yep.
And I think that is going to be insane.
I would put money that could be match of the night.
Because all 3 of those women are incredible.
Which is nuts when you look at the WWE Championship match.
We got Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. No stipulation.
Nope.
We have Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. No stipulation.
Yep.
Which
They need to stop naming these shows TLC. Like
seriously,
TLC, Hell in the Cell.
I miss when they had the other names, and then you just had matches on it.
You know what? And this is like the one thing that, at least with Stride and CCW, whenever we have like
a gimmick,
it's the entire night.
Yep.
Or if it's a ladder match, it's not climbing the ladder of success at CCW. Like, it's not the name of like the
worst fucking name I've ever heard in my life.
Well, that's why I don't do the names of the shows, team.
Climbing the ladder of success.
Like, stupid shit.
Are you guys excited for CCW's February show? Don't forget to eat breakfast.
I'm sorry, Dylan.
I hate my friends.
We got Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin in a TLC match. If Strowman wins, he receives a Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble, and Corbin will be stripped of all authoritative power. If Corbin wins, he will become the full-time general manager of Raw. I wonder who's winning.
Here's my conspiracy theory. I think Corbin wins, and I think Lars Sullivan costs Braun the match.
Setting up Sullivan versus Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that being feasible.
And then they move either Seth or Drew McIntyre onto Brock. Not necessarily at the Royal Rumble, but
that makes sense.
Or Lashley or Balor or anybody.
Because I mean, Corbin,
but that's also like part of me just like booking around me not wanting to see Strowman versus Lesnar again.
Corbin has to win because they've been pushing him way too hard as this authoritative figure. But not only that, but if Strowman wins, I mean, I know they've had run-ins, but it seems like such a anticlimactic ending of Strowman destroys Corbin, strips him of his power, you know?
Or Slater costs Corbin the match. Like he does what he did to Rollins, where he shoves him off.
Or he more than likely costs Strowman the match, and then Strowman destroys him afterwards.
Yeah,
to stand
there's so many ways. There's so many terrible ways this could go.
All terrible.
That said, I would not complain about Lars Sullivan versus Braun Strowman. That would be a great way to establish Lars, and I think that would just be a gross ass hoss fight.
Plus, it would be nice to have someone that, like you said, a hoss fight, that someone that could come in and fight Strowman that you don't automatically go like, ooh, he's gonna get destroyed because Strowman is they've built him up as such a monster,
right?
And then the main event, I guess, probably not. It is on here. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose in a singles match for the Intercontinental Championship. No stipulation for this blood feud between brothers.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's baffling. It's baffling. However, that being said, I actually think this is going to be a really good show.
Oh no, yeah, I am genuinely excited for the show. This is one of those where it's like, yeah, we're going to be playing a lot of Smash.
Yes.
We might be playing some Call of Duty.
Yes.
We might be playing some Red Dead. Yeah. A little bit of Red Dead.
But play Smash with us. She bought it, or Pokemon.
I have Pokemon. I have Kirby.
The Legend of Zordo.
But like it's one of those things. It's like once the show actually starts, there's not really a match on there that I don't at least have a interest in. Like usually there's at least a couple that it's like, yeah, that's totally skippable.
Yeah.
But this one, like looking through it, it's like, nope, yep. I actually the only two that I can think of that I'm like, are the Mixed Match Challenge finals. I'm only interested in who wins that just to see like what they could do with the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And as much as because I love Ruby Riott, I think she's amazing. I'm a huge fan of Natalya. This feud has been just a miss for me. And table matches are not super exciting.
No.
Especially when you're gonna have the Riot Squad out there, and this is one of those like you kind of have to feel like you have to give the feel good win to Natalya.
Hopefully.
That said, it's Vince, so
yep. Screw it.
She might be going through that dad table.
The only matches actually, there's two matches on this card that I don't look forward to. Oh.
Did you just dab?
I mean, I would like to see you prove it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Allie, you definitely saw that, right?
What?
God.
She's playing Pokemon Go.
Natalya versus Ruby Riott and also Nia versus Ronda. I don't care. I just don't care. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, it's not that I don't like Ronda Rousey. I have cooled off on Nia Jax completely. I can't stand her.
I wasn't a huge fan of their first match. Like, it was better than I thought it was going to be. But, so it's not that I think it'll be bad at all, but yeah, I'm not super... I feel like this is a given. It's one of those where it's like, I don't see there being any chance of Nia winning.
Right. Well, because Ronda is I don't want to say protected. That sounds
No, I mean, but she is. Like,
she's
not going to lose until she loses that, like, I think she might lose at WrestleMania.
Right.
But
and on the opposite side, Nia Jax is so like I'm not a fan of her personally. I just never have been. But also, she's so inconsistent with the writing that it makes me hard to get
she's constantly turning and I
just don't care. Like,
being built up immediately. Like finally wins the championship, and you were super on board with that until she lost it like almost immediately again.
And then she wins again, and she cuts this promo about being
how she
overcoming adversity.
Yeah,
and then the next week she's the bad guy. It's like, what are you doing? That makes God, whatever. All right, last thing before we get out of here. Stride over the weekend had a show of Dalton. Of course, you are a resident Stride man since you wrestle there. Tell us about what happened.
Really good show. A lot of interesting things happening leading into 2019. Me and Dexter Roswell actually get a title opportunity at the beginning of the year.
So, true story. I saw the picture of you holding the title up with Garrett, and I went, holy shit, Dalton won the titles. Allie did too, because she's like, Dalton's a champion now. I'm like, no.
I read the caption. Otherwise, but then I would have been very mad that like
he didn't tell us and we could have been there
because I would have absolutely made the trip for that.
Yeah, no, we have.
The only reason I haven't been going to Stride lately is because I don't like making that drive alone.
And she always works, so I feel bad about going without her.
Yeah. SB and Joey had a really I watched that one in the back.
I would love to see that match.
Proto Sam on Twitch actually has the entire show up, I believe.
Love that guy.
But yeah, no, I get another match with Billy, which is always I enjoy so much. And Elijah or Scott will be in there. Damn it. Scott's going to be in there. So I'm excited.
Does Scott know that you took his last name for your entrance music?
No, not yet. It's cool. I'm changing. It's fine.
God damn you.
But yeah, no, we have another. I think our next show is January 5th. But we don't have a lot of match. I think the only match they've announced so far is the tag title match. We have a new Stride Legacy champion.
I was going to say, it's like, how are you going to miss like a title change and a turn and just...
Yeah, because Aaron Brooks had to vacate the title.
Yeah, he wasn't there, unfortunately. And so we have a new Stride Legacy champion, Cash Borden.
Who's not the nicest guy.
No, he's not, and I knew that in the ring with him. No, but the open of the show was whoever won our tag match was going to be in the Legacy title match. So... yeah, no, the Legacy title match was also a good one. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Cash, just because I think he is such...
Cash is so violent, and to see him start being super violent in Stride is going to be scary, but fun.
Do you want to know who's really happy there in the tag division?
Lee.
This guy.
Oh. Lee Montgomery.
Oh, no, Lee was apparently texting and being like, hey, make Dalton bleed. Make Dalton bleed, Cash.
Some bitch.
But yeah, no. So January 5th at the at the Stride Center in Carterville, that'll be the next show, and I think then we're gonna have a school show in early February in West Frankfort.
And of course, they can always check Stride Pro Wrestling on Facebook for details.
Always hit follow my 123 cents to get all of your Stride updates, and also a good podcast every week.
Yes, it is. Kevin Huntsberger brings the goods.
I actually forgot how much I missed him. Because I
haven't talked to Kevin in so long.
Well, I just hadn't seen him in 2 months because I got so used to seeing him multiple times a month.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see him I saw him at Pickneyville in October. It was right after my birthday. Pickneyville, yeah. Whatever. And I saw him right after my birthday, and then I hadn't seen him until this weekend. I made him hold Dexter's Germex because I didn't have pockets. So I was like, this is yours now.
You got that big-ass Indiana Jones satchel. Just take that.
I haven't brought the
satchel Kleenex in there. Kleenex. Colon blow. I don't know what it is. Whatever.
Colon blow.
I've tuned out to what you were saying.
The Buddy Rose blow away diet.
What happened?
Due to the original deal between Netflix and Disney, it looks like Daredevil won't appear in any other show or movie for up to 2 years.
Yep.
Oh,
Saw that earlier.
What kind of deal did they sign?
A deal assuming Disney wasn't going to start their own bullshit streaming service.
Well, we got to get out of here really quick before I a torrent of curse words.
Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day.
You're going to say that on today?
Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. Facebook.com/Podzilla. God, we got to get out of here.
Save me.
Mason, don't put the chair down.